All right, we're finally in Zbrush. This is where we left off last time, and before we even get started, I want to put myself in the right mindset. I noticed in the last videos I was going really quickly, and it's been an issue for me since the beginning that I started sculpting. When I started out, like I would sculpt and then turn around and sculpt, and I was always trying to race or something. And with time, I'm starting to get slower and slower. It's at some point you realize that it's really about the decision making and making the right decisions, and not really about the amount of actions that you need to do. And so when you take the time to turn around your form and actually taking the right decisions, then it goes much quicker than doing a bunch of actions. And a trick that I found for me was to lower the intensity of all my brushes to go slower and slower, putting some calm music. And so sometimes at work, like by the end of a day, I'm like so calm that I can even fall asleep while sculpting, and I'm at peace. But that's when I'm doing my best work, really. So we're, I'm gonna try not to fall asleep, but I'm gonna try to go slowly enough that we we're making the right decision, and that it goes in the right direction. So first, today I'm gonna try to correct a bit the hand, the angle, and then we're gonna do a quick retopology with ZRemesher, and then we're gonna be able to push it forward in terms of form making. So first off, I'm gonna start to work on the hand to make it a bit more precise, because I felt like the hand was like really big. So I don't want to model every single finger into it. Gonna take too long, but I still want to have like a base shape. I think I'm gonna add the thumb as like a separate object, and then merge it with the Dynamesh or something like that. There's a lot of the work that I'm gonna keep for when we have a proper topology. Like we talked about before, the form is really dirty. It's a bit hard to see like this in ZBrush. It was easier to see with the render. But an easy way to for you to start seeing it is by going at the same angle of your form, and now we can see like all these kind of circles. That the form is like so bumpy, We don't have a continuous shape. It's always a bunch of bumps. And like same thing for this. Like what is like we talked about flow before, like what kind of flow is this? It's just super duper messy, but with with Sculptress, it's really hard to control. Once we're gonna have a clean topology, it's gonna be really easy with like a few polygons to just move them and keep them controlled. So I'm gonna keep this for later. For now, I'll just go with this. So let's add a cube for the thumb. Zbrush is an awful software to work with multiple meshes to place them and to even in terms of shader and stuff. Um, some people in the comments talked about VR, and like VR is much better to control multiple forms and merge them together, so it brings up new possibilities in terms of sculpting workflows. But I still like sometimes to have these solid pieces of geometry that are perfectly straight and then they're easy to break up. If I wanted to be sponsored by Zbrush, I think I just burned my chances. I'm sorry. The one thing that is I'm gonna I'm gonna save myself and be sponsored by Zbrush now. The fun thing about Zbrush is being able to mask and duplicate with the move tool. Like you can make teeth like that and just move them, press control and like move, move, move and have a bunch of objects. So that's really fun. And now it's starting to feel like something. All right. I think I'm gonna merge this. Now there's a portion that we don't really need anymore. You know, I think it works in our blocking, so I can just I'm gonna keep the torso for now. No. Remove this. Remove this. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna keep for now. I'm just gonna dynamesh the cubes with it. Uh-oh. What's that, too high res? 3 million, yes. Okay, so this is gonna be my high res, and then I'm gonna make the retopology on a different subtool. Gonna lower the resolution a bit so it's faster. And then for my topology, I'm gonna try to detect edges, put adaptive size to 0 so we have the same size of polygon everywhere. And this is the area that I'm gonna try to keep in my render. So I'm gonna make a ah, so I'm gonna try to make a poly group for this. This way, um, this at the end, I'm just gonna be able to hide all the rest of the topology and just keep this part. So I'm gonna put that, and I'm gonna just try the. Oh, I need to keep groups. I'm stupid. So I'm gonna keep groups, and then in ZRemesher you can smooth the group's border so that it's clean. We're gonna see what's the polygon size. Um, that's not bad actually. 4,000. Let's try to go a bit higher res and see if we get something better. This or this. Um, let's try the low res. Might be easier. So I'm gonna take the low res and just project the other one on top of it. So we kept pretty much the same information. Gonna delete. Oops, am I deleting the right one? Delete. Okay. So now we can go back and actually start to design our flows like we want to. Um, what do we start with? I think I'm gonna start with this forearm. So I want the top part to be mostly squarish. Gonna lower this. You're gonna see that a rule that I do for myself is that if I can do the form at a low resolution, I'm gonna do it. And if I can't, then I'm gonna go at a higher resolution. But if I'm able to create this form at a low resolution, I'm gonna do it because when you subdivide it after, you have this really soft transition that is really nice looking, and otherwise it's harder to control. when you go higher res, you need to make sure that the information that you're putting in is free of artifacts from your brush and things like that. So I find that doing the work at a low resolution just avoids a lot of unnecessary smoothing and gonna try to choose a polygon row that is gonna be my transition row. This way, after I'm gonna be able to take, let's say, those polygons and just pull them over the first one, and it's gonna be really, really easy. I'm not sure yet exactly the form that I want to create with the forearm. Do I want to have a crease here and put more emphasis on the connection between this bone and the rest of the arm? Or do I want to have like a big bulge here to show the forearm muscle? So I'm exploring a bit to see what I like, what I don't like. Like 25 degrees over here. I don't know why I have a sweater on. I feel like I'm gonna struggle with this forearm until the end. The It's a tricky one. So like we said before, we were designing a flow right here. I'm trying to have this line that goes from the bottom into the arm. So I'm designing a core that connects to the bone, and then we have our transition space into the arm over here. So we lose the form, but we still want to feel something going deeper. So we still put it, but it's really, really subtle, and we have this soft transition space. Oh, I forgot. I wanted like this thin skin layer in here that would connect the arm. We're gonna put it later. It's okay. Here's an interesting part. Like I'm trying to put these tendons in, and then I want them to disappear in the form. So right now we can see with the silhouette that the tendon is actually going outwards and then it's going inwards. But if we think about what it would do in reality, it would be straight and go directly in the form. So what I want to do with the silhouette instead is this is going to be straight, and then on top of that I'm gonna add the form so that it disappears into a form that is actually bumps more outwards than the tendon. And now we're gonna feel like it's sinking in this form, slowly disappearing into something instead of just being, instead of the shape not really making sense. Already, like we didn't we didn't really work on this part, but I feel like already there's something that feels good about this. Starting to question myself, how much do I want this bone to protrude? I could design it so only this left side is like really, really intense, and then this other side is like completely soft. Or I could keep it a bit more like this, and it's the part under that is strong. I'm thinking since we're gonna have a light from the top, it's gonna be less visible if it's strong from under, but I think I might want to keep it pretty subtle. Now put too much emphasis on this bone right there. I'm working on multiple resolution at the same time. I'm not it would be a good exercise to really build the first subdivision level and then build the second and then the third one. But at some point it's you can really see your issues when you go up a subdivision level and then you correct it by going at a lower subdiv. And I like that this method of working of switching a lot back and forth. I'm interested to see if we can have like a sharp line in our bicep. I'm gonna try to correct the what we said before to have one flow with the bicep, to have a continuous line. Right now the bicep is going downwards, and then this one is might be going a bit more straight. So I'm gonna try to angle things so that they feel connected between each other. There's the tendon and the bicep are one with the other. You can see here how I'm fighting with my topology. Since I don't have a topology that's following this crease, it makes it much harder, and it's like my topology is just too low res for to properly sculpt this. So at a later stage, I'll probably put in our missing skin piece here, and then I'll zero mesh it again to finish up the work. Not sure what's the plan with the hand. I don't want to do the fingers, but this in between might also be kind of awkward. We're gonna see. Sometimes looking at your arm is a much easier reference than finding the right picture. I just noticed on my hand that the tendon is actually pretty angled. Maybe it's not true for everyone, but might feel good. At the end, we're gonna do a pass where, so we set this even higher, we're gonna start putting skin in between the tendons. I hope we have time to get there, to like actually break up our forms and like make it old looking. Been 47 minutes. I'll try maybe another 15 and this one was a bit more relaxing. This session was a bit less intense. The further I go, I find that like making the pose and the blocking really stressful. But then after a while, like we know we're going somewhere. Might not be there yet, but we already have a working base. This crease is a good example of amplitude. Like either we could have a very, very intense big form and a very, very soft small form. See, like the form is actually intense. We're gonna have a big shadow in there, but the transition is very, very soft. Or you can have like we had before and have almost no difference in here. We'll have a big crease in our smaller forms. So this is a question of design, but also looking at the references and seeing what am I actually supposed to do. And I think in reality, it's a bit of an in between. The deeper crease is pretty soft, I think. It's hard to say. I like to first design my flows with like a lot of intensity and then try to work on the amplitude and how it actually transition in that space. I don't want this form to the form that I just created, I don't want it to be stronger than the connection between the tendon, the bicep. So I'm gonna try to reinforce the connection between the two so that when you look, you feel this connection instead of this. I don't know if you guys saw what I did. Like here, we have a connection between the bicep and down there, and now we have a connection between this and this. And it's just changing the flow by changing this little transition space. I didn't do much else than that. feels pretty long. Not sure if I changed anything in the end. Hmm. I feel like I'm making this worse than before now. I'm gonna try to put this final piece of skin right here, and next time we're gonna run zero measure again so that our topology tries to hold all of this information, and so that it's easier for us to sculpt the rest. And we're gonna see what we like and what we don't like about what we created, and then I think we're gonna be ready to push forward to start to have some breakup in the form. And you see how much it's stretching. Oh my, I feel like we went for longer. How long was this? An hour nine. Oh my. I can't stop myself. Okay, let's just do a final quick something on the bicep. And then Sorry that I can't put some music at the same time. It would be kind of moody, but I think I would be flagged with copyright issues, so. I feel like this line is not going to be sharp enough. Render time, the crease of the bicep. But I feel like it's already big when we go down. Tricky. I'm not sure if we're gonna see the nipple. I'm just gonna place it to see if we see it in the render and if we need to put work on it. Alright, pencils down. That's it for today. This was pretty calm. I hope it's still useful for you guys and still enjoyable. Um, so like we said, I'm gonna do a render and we're gonna see how this looks and uh, I can already see this way too large. Like the connection here makes no sense. Okay, for next time, we're gonna keep correcting this and keep moving forward. Um, let me know if you guys are doing this at the same time as me. Um, I'm hoping I can see a couple of projects at the end of this series. So maybe even give some feedback. We're gonna see. So thank you guys for the nice comments, by the way, on the past videos. It's super appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.